Hello, and welcome to a brand new episode of Unblocking Your Purpose. I am your host, your friend, your girl, your sister, and Jada, and I am really, really happy to be with you today. No matter if you're listening first thing when it releases on Monday, whether you are allowing me to be up in your ears while you're doing something else, or if maybe you're watching this on YouTube. If you are, hey, I see you. Thank you for being here. Last week, I took the week because I did a free 7-day reset, a summer reset challenge with some incredible women. So I took the week to focus on that. So I am glad to be back with you and doing this. And I'm going to touch on some of those things because I was really incorporating those things that we've talked about so far this season here on the show and wrapping it up in a way that we were able to apply it. So that is what we're going to get into for this last episode here in June. I cannot believe July is literally knocking on the door. The first day of July is a special day for me and my family because our twinsies will be celebrating their birthday. So I am leaning forward and excited about July as well. But before we get there, we are going to wrap this up for June. If you are new, welcome. I am so excited to have you here. Doing the challenge actually grew the community, which I am just so honored really to have happen. So join us in the Facebook community if you're new. Go back and listen to some of the other episodes. I try to build so that it all makes sense for us, right? So even if you're jumping in today, you're going to learn something. But go back and take a listen to some of those previous episodes. I think it will definitely bless you as well. But if you have been my tried and trues and you're rocking with me, thanks for always staying with me, for reaching out, because it definitely helps me, right? It helps to motivate me. And that's the whole thing. We are here to encourage and inspire and motivate each other. And I definitely get that whenever you all pour back into your girl. So thank you for that. And if there's anything that you hear that you want to share, please do that. If there's more that you want to know about personally, please do that, because again, that is what I do feel I'm called to do, to help other people. I love this platform because I feel like I'm reaching a lot, but I can also work with you one-on-one if that's something that you so desire. As a licensed, or not licensed, but a certified life and success coach is what I meant to say. Ain't no licensing up in here. So we have been talking about who we are becoming in this season, right? We've purged and we've, curated the ground. We've planted the seeds. We've nurtured that. And now we are walking into who we are supposed to be in this season. Because again, we may need to be something different now than we were, a few months ago. And we may be different here in the next few months when all these kiddos are back in school, right? For me, summer did sort of kind of slow down. We had some really busy moments. We had some that are a little lighter. I'm about to roll back into another heavier season, if you will, after the 4th of July. But in all of that, I am also implementing what I am sharing with you all, meaning I am making time for myself. I am taking time for myself. I am praying and I am listening and asking God for direction and for discernment and guidance, right? What is my next step? What do I need to do? And I am human and I fail and I will get caught up because life is going to life, and I'll be in my works and I have to be like, nope, that is not what we're doing, and get back to being in alignment. So that is a lot of what we have talked about, are talking about, will continue to talk about, because even as we're changing who we need to be in this season, life is going to have different things that are happening. So we have to be adaptable to that, but we have to always be in alignment, right? Right. So let's start with the scripture. It's one that I've used before, but I think it's applicable to what we're going to talk about. So we are coming out of Philippians 3, and it is just verse 13. I think I did 13 and 14 last time, but just verse 13 out of the NLT, or the New Living Translation. And it reads, no, dear brothers and sisters, I have not achieved it, but I focus on this one thing: Forgetting the past and looking forward to what lies ahead. So, yes, we know that, if we don't understand history, then we're doomed to repeat it. But I think we are just saying we don't want to keep holding on. And we've talked about this. We don't want to keep holding on to the old habits that are not serving us as we are looking for what is coming ahead. All right. So, I felt like it was applicable to where we're at and where we're trying to go. So, in this episode, we are saying, where are we? Where is she who we are trying to be? And that's why I am titling this episode, The Woman You're Becoming Needs Something Different, right? Because again, things that we had in the past may not be serving us where we're at. So we do not want to live in this new version of ourselves, right? Using old habits, using the things that we've put down, right? It's almost like when the Bible talks about we can't put new wine in the old skins, right? It's not going to work. So we are evolving and we are adapting and we are changing and becoming who we need to be. So we need to make sure we're letting go of some of that. So I want to touch a little bit on some of the things we did in the challenge, because I did it right alongside the women who joined me for it. And let me tell you something, if this is something you want to do, it's not like, oh, it's a one and done. And I think we're going to do another one, but this is something that if you are interested in, just let me know and I will send you the workbook. I created the workbook. I'm really proud of it. And it's just something for you to take 10, 15 minutes of your day whenever you have it. Like I had moments where I would work on a piece here and then work on a piece later in the day, right? So I understand, because I'm living a busy life. We may not have all the time to just sit and do that, but if we can, that's great. But it's really just to be intentional, to give to yourself, to take thoughts in your head and put it on paper, right? So the first thing I want to say in this is because we just finished the challenge yesterday, okay? And not just for that, but in anything that you are doing and you're achieving, I want us to celebrate. And I'm saying this from someone who used to be like, oh yeah, checked it off the list, keep moving forward. We have to celebrate. We have to stop and be, grateful for us sticking to what we set out to do, for accomplishing something. Maybe it didn't go the way we wanted it to go or thought it would go, but we still got to the end state. We should be celebrating, what God has allowed us to do and to work through, right? I think that that's important, because it not only helps us to slow down a little bit, but I think it really helps us to have gratitude for what we have accomplished, what he has provided in order for us to get to that end result. And so, we need to have some gratitude before we're just moving on to the next thing. And I also think that it helps us to it helps motivate us to keep going, if that makes sense, right? Like, ooh, I had this goal, I achieved this goal. I know I can do great things. I know I can do bigger things, right? So I would say number one, celebrate your growth. Even if you maybe you're not even where you thought you wanted to be when we started this, right? When we were doing the purging and all of that. But look back and give yourself credit. Like, are you further along than where you were? Are you doing things different than what you were doing? Then celebrate that. And then come share it with me, because I want to celebrate you and celebrate with you, and come to the group. We will celebrate that. So, with the summer reset, it was really, like I said, about putting us back on the great things to do list. Your girl here loves a things to do list. And so I myself will be busy with, what do I need to do to make sure my husband is still feeling appreciated and that we're still connecting? What is it that my kids need, right? So that I am supporting what they need to do. What is it that my home needs? All of these things. What does my employer need? I'm doing all of that, but then I'm like, where's Jada? Where is she on that list? And I will say, me doing my 75 soft challenge, had a few weeks where it got a little bumpy, because May was May. If you know, you know. But I was still like, nope. Okay, so it was about 3 weeks. I'm going to tack those 3 weeks on to the end. I'm going to get back into it. So it's not like I just completely gave up on myself, right? I just adjusted. But I was back on the list. And that is what the challenge allowed for us to do. We got to slow down and say, okay, let me assess where I'm at. Let me let me think about what brings me joy. Let me see where I can put that back in my life, right? What's not serving me anymore that I need to get rid of? So it was like every day was something else for us to think about. There was a little quick assessment for us just to, again, get it out of our heads and onto paper so that we could really, because it's different. Like even with me with my budget, I'll be like, I know I'm eating out too much, or we're always stopping and getting something to eat. But sis, when I took my what am I trying to say? Like I went and took my bank statement and I sat down and I'm like, ooh, and I saw the number that I'm spending. It just gave it a different perspective and it allowed me to be like, nope, we really need to change this for a few different reasons, right? So same thing. It's one thing to be like, I'm too busy, or I don't feel appreciated, or I don't feel fulfilled. Like it's one thing to think that, but it's another thing to see it, because then you can actually start making change. And that's what it allowed. And then it allowed us to say, okay, I thought I was not doing great here, but really if I sit and think about it, I am doing great. So it's not all about what's bad, right? It's about where we are and how do we continue to move forward. What do I want to keep? What do I want to maintain that is going well for me? And then what are the things that I do want to change? So, a reset is really just for us to take kind of stock of where we're at to help us with creating the transformation where we want to go. And that's what it did for me personally, because like I said, I went through it. And if you're interested, let's talk about it. We want to also make sure that as we are doing this transformation, that now that we're seeing it, we know where we don't want to go back to, right? And that's what we've been kind of talking about. We don't want to go back to those old habits. We need to start establishing what we need now and moving forward to support this new version and who we are and where we're trying to go and who we're trying to be. So we don't want to go back to, oh, well, this worked for me and it allowed me to survive. No, we are here to thrive, okay? We are here to press this forward. We are here to live in the moment, to have what God said, heaven here on earth, right? Like, yes, the world is crazy, but we can be in the land of Goshen. We can have those things that, bring us joy, that brings him joy, where he continues to rain down the blessings and gives us the desires of our heart. So we don't want to go back to oh yeah, I'm just surviving. No, we want to thrive. And that's what we're working on. So I want you to think about whether you've done the challenge. Yay. If you want to do the challenge, yes. If you're still on the fence, think of it. And this is for all of us. What does the new you need now and moving forward? Does she need more space? Or as we might say, more margin, right? So I think about that, like white space on a calendar. I was in the military. I worked for some general officers and worked for senior leaders. And so as we would do their schedule, it was like, okay, you have all these meetings, but we don't want to stack them so that they don't have a time to go to the bathroom or get a drink of water or just, decompress for a little bit. Same for us. Same for us. Where do you need more space in your life where you're not just back to back to back to back to back, right? And so for an example, for me, it'd be like, okay, the kids have all of this. I have a meeting. I have some stuff that I personally want to do. How do I make it where I can get all of that accomplished without me being burnt out and overburdened? Does that mean my husband needs to step in? Does that mean I need to phone a friend? Does it mean I need to say no? Right? We've talked about that. No is a sentence and it's a word. Whole sentence and a word. So sometimes we have to just look at that and say, where do I need more space? Where do I need to make sure that as these things are overlapping, I have space so that I'm not then grouchy or resentful or anything negative that then can spew out on the people that I care about. So you might need more margin. You may need more joy. You might need to take this challenge and look and say, okay, let me go back and think about the things that made me happy, that brings me joy. Maybe you need to, weave that back into your life a little bit so that, maybe it's a place where you can go to just breathe, to excel, to just be for a moment, more joy. Maybe you need better boundaries. Back to the no. Maybe it's, this is where I'm at. This is it. Again, we talk about boundaries all the time here on the show. It's not about hurting people or keeping them out. It's about protecting you and your peace. Maybe that is what you need in this season? Maybe you need more rest. I'm raising my hand if I'm in your ear, but if you're watching, you see me. Maybe you need more rest. Last week, I literally did not feel good. I mean, I even called in and was like, I'm not going to be able to make it in today. I even had my husband take the kids to camp. Like, I just did not feel good. And so I just needed to rest. I was still able to work, but I was like in my office. It was dark. I had a candle going. And the next day, was I 100%? No, but did I feel better? Yes, because I was just able to reset in a way of honoring my body and just slowing down. Sometimes it's, as my husband, you hear me say this, go slow to go fast. And so sometimes maybe you just need more rest. Maybe you need different relationships. Are there people that are just sucking the life out of you? Are you pouring in and they just keep taking and you're getting nothing in return? Maybe you need to evaluate that and see where you're at, or reach out to people that maybe are more aligned with who you are in this season. Maybe you need to see, who do you need in this season? And one last thought, because I know this is for me, I actually just talked about this, is a deeper relationship with God, to really hear him more clearly. Because like I said, I too get super busy, and then I'm just, my to-do list and my calendar, and I lay everything out. And sometimes I'm like, you know what? I need to literally stop and hand it over and trust that he has me all the time. And he already knows where I'm going to be. So going to him to have that deeper relationship so I can hear more clearly. And I'm suggesting that for you too, to hear, to discern, to have wisdom. And then therefore you take the steps that will provide you rest, will provide you with more clarity, will provide you with more just being able to be instead of always just doing, right? So I want us to think about these things as we are getting ready to walk into July, because the next episode will be after the 4th of July, and we're in a new month. We are then now halfway of this year. I'm learning and I'm instilling in my kids, like, we're not chasing perfection. We're not trying to be perfect. We're just trying to be a little bit better every day. We're trying to be more consistent. That is a big thing for me. Being consistent, showing up, even when I don't want to show up, even when it's scary for me to show up, to get out of my way, right? To just become more consistent across all the areas in my life. And I am challenging you to do the same thing as we're going into July. We want to choose peace and to be present. I'm going back to something that I forgot who I heard it from, but it was like, be where your feet are. So if I'm here with you, I'm here with you. I've already told my kids, like, hey, you need to be quiet for a little bit while mommy does this. I told my husband, hey, I got to go and do my podcast. Like, these are things that are important. So when I'm here, I'm here. When I'm at work, I'm at work. When I'm with my children, you get it. So be present and then have peace with that. If there's something that's happening in your life and it's not bringing you peace, set it to the side. It doesn't mean it has to be gone forever. And maybe it does mean it needs to be gone forever. You have to ask for that and get that discernment. But choose the things that are going to bring you peace, because then that helps you in how you walk, how you talk, how you think, how you act, how you react. Okay. Those are my challenges for us as we're going into this next month. So ask yourself a couple of questions. What has changed in you this month, or at the end of the month? What has changed, especially if you did the challenge? What changed for you? Even if you're just going through, and we're in summer now, I think most kids across the country are out of school. What has changed? Where have you been able to slow down? Or are you still just doing the same thing? Think about that. And what do you want to carry into this next season? I just gave us a few things to think about, but what do you want to carry into the next season? What does that look like? Maybe it's one thing, maybe it's two, maybe it's five. I don't know, but what do you want to carry into then this next season? And take it slow, right? Like the month of July. Let's get through summer, July and August. What do you want to carry? What do you no longer willing to tolerate? People, things, attitudes, world news. What are you willing not to tolerate? Because that goes into your boundaries, and it is perfectly fine to have boundaries. And what does the woman that you're becoming in this season need from you this week? Sometimes we want the big things, the grandiose things, but let's scale it down. What does she need this week? What's one thing that you can provide for her to help her to shine as she keeps moving forward. So I'm about to get out of here. Thank you for rocking with me. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you for motivating me. As I said at the beginning, I love this journey. I just want you to continue to grow and become who you desire to be, who He needs you to be in this season. Okay? So we're going to keep doing that. Just know that who you're becoming, she deserves to be protected. Her thoughts and her ways may not make sense to people, but that doesn't mean that she needs to change for them. Remain true to who you're becoming and know that that's good enough. And once you're doing that and you're living in your truth, people will come along. They'll accept it or they won't. And if they don't, they probably didn't need to be there anyway. And that saves you some heartache on the back end. Remember, she is worth investing in. Your time, maybe it is resources, grabbing a journal, my journal, or grabbing coaching, or joining a group, or maybe you need to go to a gym, or maybe she needs a massage. Like, she is worth investing in because the return on that investment is going to be great, not just for you, not for her who you're becoming, but for the people that you're supporting. So she's worth investing, and she's worth showing up for every day, even when we don't want to. We are important. And I think we lose sight of that as women. Like, we're like, oh, well, this is what I prayed for. And this is, what I have to do. And yeah, we did pray for that, but it doesn't mean that we have to be taken advantage of. And so you're worth it. You're worth taking time for. You're worth investing in. You're worth boundaries. You're worth all of that. And I hope that you know that and feel that and continue to walk in that. So cannot wait for July. We're going in with intentions. We're going in with, just embracing who we are, especially as we're going to get ready to transition into going back into school and all of that good fun stuff. And I cannot wait to be here with you because I am doing this along with you. So remember, if this has helped you, share it with somebody else, join the Facebook group, reach out to me, let me know what's going on. If you want to do the challenge, it's easy for me to send you the workbook. And thank you as always for being here. So until next month, which is crazy, next week, I just want you to take care of yourself. All right. Love you. Bye.